Well, I'd had actually quite a bit of stage experience because I was an actor, I was a musician. I moved over to the UK originally as a journalist, but as a journalist, I wound up doing a lot of public speaking and radio and TV stuff. And so I was quite used to being on a stage and talking at conferences, and I was used to being on stage as a musician, and I'd done acting when I was younger. So, and I'd done sketch and improvisational comedy when back when I lived in the US. And so stand-up was not that new to me. But the funny thing is when I was sort of 10, 20 gigs in, people were asking me how many years I'd been going because I had stage presence and I could talk to an audience. I wasn't afraid of that. But I did have a big problem with actually being funny. And being funny to an audience, with people you have never met. I mean, that's the real skill of a comedian over, your friend Fred, who's, funny 3 times a day in the office, is that he knows all the people. As a comic, you have to be funny for 20, 30 minutes in front of people you don't know. And that takes more skill. And that was kind of, I think, the big thing that I learned in the first few years of doing comedy, that just because you can present yourself doesn't mean you're actually funny in front of an audience. I have a couple different ones. If I have a specific subject I want to write a joke about, then I will just start writing about it. But I do keep a notebook with me all the time, and any funny idea that pops up into my head, I will then write it down. And for instance, at tonight's gig, I had an idea. I don't know what the rating is on this. You can cut this out if you want, but someone was talking about putting a finger up someone's asshole, and I thought, oh yeah, whenever someone puts a finger up your asshole, just remember, that's what it looks like when Donald Trump picks his teeth.
That's awesome.
And I just thought of that just on the reference of putting a finger up someone's a-hole, and I thought, oh, hey, I've got a joke for that, and so I'm going to try that my next gig. I've written political satire for television, and that is where you have a specific subject. You know what you're going to write about, and you just have to watch everything and then just keep writing ideas down until you finally find something funny, and that's hard work. If it makes you laugh, then you run with it. And I think the other thing is, you've got to look at the things that people are going to get. I mean, for instance, Hillary Clinton had a great description of Donald Trump. Her description of Donald Trump was an ID with hair. And I tried that out in front of a few people. I was doing a little thing for election night, and realized that most people don't get the whole Freudian thing of the ego, the superego, and the id being the base primal motivations. And I had to bin that because I realized, okay, people don't get the reference. So a lot of times you have to make sure that people are going to get what you're talking about, and it may be the best joke ever, but if people don't get it, or only 3% of the people get it, well, then you have to bin it and find something easier.
Do you find that you fall in love with jokes and it's hard to get, I tend to fall in love with jokes and it's hard for me to get rid of them, and I'm not very pragmatic about it. Is that easy for you, and was that a process?
Definitely a process. I've got jokes that I love, and audiences just don't get them. But after you try them out a few times in front of an audience and they don't get anything, you start falling out of love with them. And then you fall more in love with the ones that do work, and you go, oh, I'm going to stick with that one, and I'll bin this other one.
That's awesome. And how do you keep going when you get discouraged?
I don't know. I'm going through that right now. I mean, the market right now is changing, and it's quite, the traditional stand-up scene it's struggling. It's harder to make money now. I was talking to a comic who I've known for a long time, and he said he is now making, and he's a better comic today than he was 3 years ago. He is making 1/6 the money he was making 3 years ago, and I'm seeing that too. So I'm looking to look at new things and doing more broadcast stuff, and this is not an easy way to make a living. Like, if you don't have to do comedy, don't do comedy. like do anything if you don't have to do comedy. I think I need to do comedy, but fuck me, it's a hard way to make a living.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time, David. It was nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.